Well, hello everybody. Trucker Todd here, and we hadn't done one of these in a long time, but it's Tuesday Trucker Talk, and I didn't think I was going to be able to do one today. I thought I was going to be able to be driving, but I am in Buffalo, Wyoming, and they shut the interstate down, Interstate 90 going west, and so I'm stuck here till they open the roads back up. Fortunately, there was a little Love's truck stop here, and so I'm just kind of hunkered down. I got one of the last parking spots here, and then after me, a lot of people got here and had to kind of do some creative parking. And so it's good to be back on Tuesdays with y'all. I'm trying to get back to the Tuesdays and Thursdays thing. Today worked out well. I happen to be in a decent signal area and can't drive, so what the heck? We might as well do a live and see what's going on with you guys and gals. Before we do that and get to everybody's comments, let's take a second and say hello to our channel members. We've only got a few of them, so it won't take too long to do. I normally have this pulled up. Looks like we've got 5 of them right now. Starting with the oldest channel member, Robbie Ross. Next is Ramon. At one time, he was the longest, and then he switched cards or something, and it put him to the second longest. Then we got Adam, we got Mark, and Gary Cook. Appreciate all of y'all's support of the channel. And so I don't have a big intro tonight, not a big monologue, nothing like that. Just figured I'd hop on here and see what everybody's doing. Like I said, I wasn't planning to be able to do a show tonight, and I only set it up about 45 minutes before, so I'm sure a lot of the notifications didn't go out. Maybe they'll go out and we'll get some more people in here in a minute. But I've been so, well, let's just be honest, I've been so unreliable on these live shows and when they're coming out that people don't schedule it as a part of their week like they used to. We just have to hope that that everybody sees it and gets here. And if not, the replay gang, we know they'll always come along. And definitely appreciate everybody. I'm not using my mouse, and so I'm having a little bit of trouble here. I may have to pull my mouse out. We'll see. Computer's freezing up. We're having technical Tuesday already. Give me just a second. Let me get the mouse out. Oh, if it's not one thing, it's another, ain't it? All right, now I think we're going to have some progress. Here we go. First in here today was Roger Berry. He says, I'm here. Thank you for being here, sir. And then channel member and moderator Robbie Ross is here. Says, hello, friends from West Texas. He's experiencing some of the dust and wind to a lesser degree than what we was experiencing when I was there. The other day in Lubbock, they had wind gusts up to 90 miles an hour. And so I didn't leave the house that day. There was a load I really wanted to do out of Amarillo, but I wasn't going to try to deadhead 120 miles with those kind of winds empty. And Racing Ray says, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Yeah, I need it to stop snowing. I need to get back to work. And I'll know when the roads open up because right now the trucks are just kind of parked everywhere. He says, not really, that stinks. Yes, sir, it does. And also another moderator here, Adam, says, I'm here. Good to have you here, my friend. Gary Cook, channel member, listening from Indianapolis, Indiana tonight. Pretty comfortable weather. Yes, sir. So here in Buffalo, Wyoming, which is where 25, Interstate 25 and Interstate 90 intersect. If you go east on 90, the roads are fine. I mean, there's a little snow, but they haven't closed the roads. You're not going west at all out of Buffalo, Wyoming. They've got the digital signs up saying the road's closed to exit off on exit 299, and so the this trip has stopped for now. Hoping they open it back up later tonight, maybe after the salt trucks and stuff go out. But I'll bet you it'll be tomorrow morning. And Soup Sandwich is here. He says, "Evening. I used to have a boss at at a shop I worked at, and that was his famous saying. He'd say, if there was something catastrophic happening at the shop, he'd go, 'This is more messed up than a soup sandwich.'" And that was the first time I'd ever heard that saying, but it was I thought it was pretty funny the first time I heard it. Roger Berry, sunny and 70 in Tennessee. Oh man, I'd love to be in Tennessee right now. I had a really hard time getting out of Lubbock. The rates are just in the tank, and I've talked to some of y'all. Some of y'all are telling me the rates are in the tank. One or two of you have told me that you're doing really good, but I think there's a lot of people struggling right now. And Don says, "Good evening." Good evening, Don. Thank you for being here. New York Links. Wow, it's still snowing somewhere. Yes, sir. And I as a part of my trip planning, I had looked, and it had said there was going to be some snow up here, but I didn't anticipate this level of snow. I thought it was going to be maybe a light snow, maybe 2 or 3 inches, but I wasn't expecting them to close the roads and everything. I didn't anticipate it being that bad. And this load's got a lot of time on it. I'm about, oh, well, I can't see my GPS from here. I think I'm about 180 miles away from where I deliver, and I've got till 4 p.m. tomorrow to get there. So I've got roughly 20 hours to go, 3 hours. So if the roads clear up in the next few hours, even the next 10 or 12 hours, I'll still be able to make an on time delivery. I was hoping to get it there before 11 a.m. Central Time so that it would meet the deadline, the scanning deadline, but it'll get there. It'll get there when it gets there. Better safe than sorry. And Roger Berry says, "Race and Ray, so very sorry for your loss." Yeah, it was a tough week. Um, if there was a silver lining, it was that we had a lot of family come to town, people I hadn't seen in a while. It was good to see them. But yeah, it was a tough week. And yeah, I don't really have anything articulate to say about it other than it's been on my mind a lot lately. And Rose says, "Hey Todd, all is well. Good to hear. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining us tonight. I got they closed Interstate 90 going west, so I'm stuck at a Love's. I'm probably gonna do this video. I may play a little bit of video games. Um, I've got some drinks in here, not the kind of drinks you're thinking of. Got Mountain Dew, Baja Blast, and some Coke Zero, and my normal regiment of water in my Circle drink bottle. And so I'll probably drink some of that and play some video games and, of course, take y'all's phone calls and things like that tonight. New York Links. I thought winter was over. Man, I was hoping. And of course, in West Texas, the last few days, we've been getting super high winds and dust. And so I thought, man, if I could just get out of the dust, I'd be okay. And then I come right back up in here into snow. and I'm usually pretty good at avoiding it, but wasn't able to avoid it this time. And usually every year, about 1 or 2 days a year, I'll get stuck in some pretty good snow. Earlier, I was in some where it got pretty hairy, and quite honestly, if there'd have been a place to pull over, I'd have pulled over. But uh, I got up here, got through the bad part, and so now I'm safe and sound. Fortunately, I'm at a Love's, but I carry enough water to last me about a week. And then I've got some canned food up here, soups and stuff. I got a little bit of food in the freezer. I could, even if I would have stopped at that little picnic area earlier, I have enough food to sit there up to a week if I had to. And fortunately, I've never had to sit anywhere that long. Usually by the next day or so, they get it cleared up. But you carry extra like that because there's a lot of truck drivers out here that aren't prepared, and you want to be able to offer somebody a bottle of water or a can of soup or something if they're out here with no food or supplies or whatever. Robbie Ross, channel member and moderator. Add me as well. So sorry for your loss, Ray. I appreciate everybody keeping him in your thoughts and prayers for sure. And Robbie Ross, as I mentioned, channel member moderator, he's got an interesting story to tell in a little bit as well. He had a week during the last 5 or 10 minutes of my last video I did. He says they shut down I-10 in New Mexico. Visibility was about zero. Scary stuff. Yeah, I came real close earlier to a whiteout situation. I could still see, but I slowed way down because the visibility just wasn't there. Hey, here's somebody I hadn't seen in a while. Corey Oatley. Beautiful evening in Knoxville. Sorry you are shut down. It's okay. I did okay on this load. It's about 1,000 miles. It paid 25.50, so it's just a hair over 1,000 miles. Zero deadhead. It picked up in Lubbock, so you could call it 245, 250 a mile, which I know that's not great. Somebody's going to come on here and say, "Oh, I'm getting $6 a mile." Somebody's going to come on here, "I'm getting $3 a mile." But trust me, out of Lubbock this week, this was a great load. And I wanted that cushion because just in case it did what it did and the snow got like it did. But yeah, I take these kind of things a little better than a lot of people do. I don't let it get me down or nothing. I know it's part of the deal. And check this out. Channel member and moderator Robbie Ross. Shout out to my co-pilot Lincoln, my bulldog, who turned 12 yesterday. Happy birthday to Robbie Ross's bulldog. And thank you for the $20 super chat. I really appreciate it. As some of you know, I used to have a dog, Mocha. She died a couple years ago, and 2 or 3 years ago, and she was 18 years old. That was the longest I'd ever heard of a dog living. And she was a small dog, half Pomeranian and half Schnauzer, but she thought she was a pit bull. I jokingly nicknamed her Killer. And every time I'd say Killer, if I'd shake her just a little, she'd growl and bark. She thought she was big and bad. But if she saw another dog and they kind of stood up to her, she'd run and hide. So it was pretty funny. But I miss that dog. And we hadn't got another dog since then. Now we're in an apartment that doesn't allow dogs. But I thought about getting one on the truck. It's just, man, if you get hung up at a shipper for a while, it's a hassle having a dog. And on days like today, you hate to get out in the snow and walk them. But yeah, they're a lot of fun, and I'm sure at some point we'll get another one. We've talked about it, and our lease is coming up on our apartment, and we just hadn't had time or or energy to go look. So I'm sure we're going to stay where we're at for another year. Soup Sandwich, you brought back your moderators. I've been watching your channel a while, and last I saw, you got rid of them. Yeah, so here's what happened. It was supposed to be temporary, and the only reason we brought them back is I filmed my aunt's funeral for some people that didn't get to go to the funeral because it was in the middle of the week. It was on a Tuesday. A lot of her family was in the Dallas and Waco areas, and some of them weren't able to make it midweek. And so they had asked me if I would film the funeral so that there'd be centralized locations where everybody could watch it, either on Facebook or YouTube or X or any other social media platforms I'm on. The only thing we didn't cast to was I think TikTok and or Instagram. We didn't go to TikTok or Instagram, but they had asked me to film it, and I filmed it. I had got some emails from some trolls that had indicated they might be going on there and stirring up trouble during the funeral, and so I had a couple of people that volunteered to be moderators just in case. Fortunately, none of the trolls did anything. We didn't have any incidents, and so I was grateful for that. But we had some people on standby just in case. We haven't had a need to have trolls here. I mean, we've never had a need for trolls. We haven't had a need for moderators here lately because the trolls have kind of gone by the wayside. Or I assume they have. I don't watch their videos. I haven't seen what's going on, but generally somebody will send me a clip or something if my name comes up, and I'm not hearing my name a lot, and I think they've moved on to bigger fish to fry, and I'm fine with that. I'm a live and let live kind of guy, and I just appreciate them not doing anything at the funeral. And I appreciate the moderators that volunteered to kind of sit in shifts. One of them could only do part of it. One of them could only do the other part. So it worked out that we had coverage, and I was able to moderate it too. But like I said, it ended up not being an issue. So I'm grateful for that. Let's see here. I think I skipped some people. Let's go back up here. Racing Ray says, thank you, Roger Berry. That was the only comment I missed, I think. And Red Raider Reloading, who's also one of the moderators, says, hello, I made it. He was getting unloaded and getting loaded and wasn't sure if he was going to be here, but I'm glad he was able to make it in. And Racing Ray says, happy birthday to Lincoln. Michael says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Michael. Thank you for being here. Soup Sandwich. So, how's SRO? We can talk about SRO. It's basically same song, different verse. Everything's been going good. I really am spoiled here, picking my own loads and negotiating my own rates. And since I've got a year with the company, I got that 2% raise. So I'm in an 82-18 split. One thing that's really good is when you work for, well, there's a few things. When you work for a small company, I was off over a week, probably closer to 2 weeks. And I think I spoke to him or had communications with him 3 times. None of it was, hey, Todd, when are you coming back to work? None of it was anything like that. It was all, hey, man, how are you doing? Is everything okay? Do you need anything? And so that's something you definitely wouldn't get with some of these mega carriers. That's something with even some of these mid-sized carriers you wouldn't get. I'll tell you another thing, dealing with brokers, he's so picky about who he hires that we have a very good reputation with the brokers. And so I think that has a lot to do with my success negotiating with brokers, and it works out good. Now, being with a small company, sometimes it's a disadvantage. Some of them will have criteria, like one of them was you have to pull 100 loads a year with us. Well, there's 7 of us. We're probably not going to pull 100 loads a year with one broker. That's a load every 3 days. So occasionally you lose a load here and there that you can't do because volume wise, we just don't do enough to qualify. But as far as insurance, things like that, we never have a problem getting approved for broker loads. He doesn't want us going to Oregon or California, so we know not to do that. He doesn't want us doing hazmat, and he doesn't want us going to Canada. So when you keep that criteria in mind, it really is a nice environment. Now, I'm not going to get on here and tell you everything's perfect. There's things I wish that was different. Heck, if I owned the company, there'd probably be things I still wished was different. But I would say that it's the best place I've ever worked, and I'm still really happy here. And I'll tell you something else, and I wasn't planning to talk about this though. This isn't dealing with SRO, but there's some trucking companies that on some of these brokers, it'll say no this company, no that company. And one of them, I just thought of them because they're parked right in front of me, is Landstar. There is a lot of brokers that don't want to deal with Landstar or Cloud Trucks. And I've never worked for either of those companies. I don't know how big a deal that is. Landstar has their agents and everything, so they probably don't even notice, probably don't even care. But I'm just surprised how many of these loads on the load board say no Landstar, no Cloud Trucks, no this company, no that company. Robbie Ross, channel member and moderator, says, you missed my super chat. Thanks, Ray. No, I just mentioned you and I had you up on the screen. That's how Ray knew about your dog, Lincoln. Adam, also moderator. It's 72 here in Southwest Kansas. Yeah, everybody's rubbing it in. I'm snowed in, and y'all are all in this wonderful weather. I got to get over to Kansas. Go see Adam. I hadn't made it through there lately. I can promise you, I'm on my way to Billings, Montana. That was not my first choice of places I wanted to go. P.U. Patel says, evening, Sir Todd. Hey, P.U., thank you for being here tonight. Channel member moderator, Robbie Ross again. Thanks, Ray. In my picture, that's my part-time security dog, Lenny. He is off duty back home in Phoenix. Hey, that brings up a question, Robbie. When you're out on the road and you leave one at home, who babysits the dog? No Fear Trucking. Hey, everyone. Hey, No Fear. Here's the deal I was talking about earlier for channel member and moderator, Robbie Ross. He says, as Todd mentioned earlier, when I was in Kearney, Missouri, I got hit by a truck as I was parked. It launched me out of my bunk. So yeah, he fortunately it hit his trailer and not his truck. It looked like it broke one of the hinges on the back door and scratched the trailer. It was you can't ever tell in those pictures because they build the back of those trailers to hit docks pretty hard. So you can't ever tell, but he said it launched him out of his bunk. And when he first told me about it, I thought he was saying they hit his truck like in the sleeper. And, I've seen some sleepers get hit hard enough that like the trailer, like it tore the wall and you could see part of the trailer in the sleeper of the guy that backed in. And so I was glad that it wasn't a situation like that. But yeah, that's something to be laying in your bunk watching Trucker Todd and have somebody hit your truck. I had a clown when I got here, one of those foreigners. There was 2 of them that he seen me trying to back into a spot, and he parked like right in front of the spot to where it made a T shape to where I couldn't get in. And I got out, and let's just say I strongly encouraged him to move, and he did. But man, just inconsiderate and stupid are not a good combination. Robbie Ross, channel member and moderator. I was very lucky the truck parked next to me witnessed it and helped me track him down. He attempted to leave. Yeah, I had that happen in Idaho. I had a guy that hit, well, it's what led to my downfall at Dart. I had a guy that hit my truck, and I was barefooted, and I got out and ran across the parking lot and chased him down. He was trying to leave. He said, I was looking for a place to park. I said, well, why didn't you park in that spot you was trying to get into when you hit my truck? And of course, he was another foreigner. He tried to say he didn't hit me, and I had that dash cam, so I was able to show where he did hit me. Didn't want to give insurance information. The cop had to force him to give insurance information. That's what worries me, is that you pull in a truck stop, like we'll just use this Love's for example, like where I'm at right now, and you think, oh, I'm going to go take a shower. If you go inside and take a shower and somebody hits your truck, they're not going to leave you a note on the door and say, hey, I'm sorry I hit your truck, or they're not going to wait around till you get back. They're going to take off. And you go ask the trucks beside you, hey, did you see who hit me? Oh, no, I didn't see nothing. And they saw it. They just don't want to be in the middle of it. And it's just a lack of respect and common courtesy. And I think it got a lot worse after COVID, but I started driving in 1996, and I think it's been getting worse progressively every year. And I've actually got a video coming out tomorrow morning that's going to talk about tariffs and how trucking's gone down the last few years, especially the last 20. P.U. Patel says, you should get Scott on a live. He and I have actually talked about him coming on a live, and he's willing to do that. The problem is just coordination. And I have such a hard time even doing these videos sometimes. And he's also a full-time driver as well as running SRO logistics, or I say he's a full-time driver. He works 5.5 days a week or so. And so he doesn't mind doing it, and I don't mind doing it. We just, we have to figure out a time where we know for 100% sure that he'll be parked and I'll be parked, and then we'll do it. Ideally, it'll probably be when I'm at home, because then I can do it. And so it's going to happen, and probably not too far in the future. But yeah, we've talked about it because people have questions, and I put his email in the ticker at the bottom of the screen, but a lot of people don't want to take that step. They want to ask questions anonymously on here, or they want to email me questions and have me ask him live on the air. And so that's a great suggestion, P.U. Patel, and it's something we'll definitely do at some point here pretty quick. Soup Sandwich, back when I drove, there was a load I picked up that said, no Schneider. I thought that was funny. Yeah, it makes you wonder, and I've heard, and I'm not trying to sling mud here, but I've heard F2F, there's a lot of brokers that don't want to work with F2F. And it's not because of F2F, the company, but it's because the drivers will book 2 or 3 loads and not go pick the ones up. For example, they'll book 3 loads that pick up at the same time, and then whichever one pays the best, they'll take it and leave the other 2. And F2F is under the impression that they can't fire them because they're independent contractors. And I'm like, well, if they failed a drug test, you'd fire them, or if they got in an accident, you'd fire them. So if they get service failures, it looks like you could have some disciplinary action or write something in your contract to where you could get rid of people like that, but they haven't come to that epiphany yet. Trucker Chris. Hello, good people. Hey, Trucker Chris. Um, if this is the Trucker Chris, I think it is. Today is his son's birthday. So, everybody, Trucker Chris, happy birthday to your son. They were doing something I would never do. They were eating sushi when I talked to him earlier. Soup Sandwich Robbie, that dog looks like DOT just opened the door and he's trying to get a treat instead of a ticket. Cute dog, though. Oh, boy. By the way, I mentioned it in another video, but if y'all didn't know, I believe it's May 13th through the 15th. They're doing another DOT Blitz. They're going to be looking at logbooks, and they're going to be looking at, I believe it was tires, if I remember. When it gets closer to time, I'll do a video and talk about it again. But yeah, just mainly was logbooks, though. Make sure you're doing the right duty statuses. We all know what that means. They're going to be looking for personal conveyance violations. A lot of guys are using it to further a load, which is a big no-no, or to extend their day, and you can't do that. So if that's something you're doing, stop now so that when they get ready to start checking your logbooks, you're ready. But the last few years when they've done a DOT blitz, I used to take those days off and just stay home. But now the last few years, I've never got really pulled in. I usually get the green light or just get waved on through every time I get pulled in. Of course, now that I've said that, I'll jinx myself this year. Maybe this year I'll take off. And channel member and moderator Robbie Ross says, LOL soup. Black Clover LLC. Hey, Todd, Becca here. How are you doing? I'm doing great. How are you and Gary doing? So those that don't know, Black Clover, we worked for a very brief time together at B&Z Logistics. I think we both agree that that's probably not the best place to work. They've gone on to another company that I can't for the life of me think of the name of, but they seem like they're really happy over there. And they were the ones that I saw their video and they told me about B&Z. And they didn't get their referral bonus, though, which really bothered me. But they should have. B&Z kind of cheated them out of that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The moral of the story is they're doing good now. They're at a good company. Got a decent looking, I believe it's a T680, a dark blue one. Looks like a nice truck. And every time, they don't do a lot of videos, but when they do one, they're always on a good long run. So I think they're getting miles. And I believe they were doing lease purchase. I think they're company drivers now. Soup Sandwich, Todd, what's your opinion on the new Arkansas law regarding English? So for those that don't know, Arkansas is working on a law that they want you to be able to read and write and speak English and have an understanding of it. They really want you to have an American CDL as well. As you know, right now you can use a foreign CDL, and I'm all for it. It was my understanding that was a DOT regulation all along that you had to be able to read and write English. Reason being, take my health situation before. Say I'm having a major health problem on the side of the road, and you stop to help me. I've got to be able to tell you what's going on. And if I don't speak English, I can't tell you, hey, my chest hurts, or I think I'm having a stroke, or nothing like that. So I think it's a matter of safety that everybody needs to be able to speak English. Well, Todd, that makes you a racist. No, not at all. I don't care if you're bilingual or trilingual. I know people that speak 4 or 5 languages. I just think that if you're going to be in the United States, you need to be able to speak English. Just like if I moved to France, I would be able to speak French. If I moved to Germany, I would be able to speak German. And if I moved to Mexico, I would be able to speak Spanish, or at the very minimum, I'd get a translator on my phone to where I could communicate successfully. And that may be all that these guys need to do to be within the letter of the law. I haven't read the law. I've seen some videos on it, but somehow we've got to get to a point to where communication and out is better. And I wish they'd make CBs mandatory, because like today when I was going through that bad snowstorm, it would have been able to be nice to be able to talk to another driver, find out what road conditions were like ahead, if we were going to run out of the storm in a few miles or if it was going to continue. It'd have been nice to know that 90 was closed before I got there. And so some of that stuff would be nice to have and know. And I blame cell phones. Nobody does anything but get on their cell phones all day. And I think it's made the roads a lot more dangerous. And Robbie Ross again, channel member moderator, just to let everybody know, police won't do anything at a truck stop. It's private property. If he did drive off, then they would get involved. I did get all his info. He denied he hit me. My witness spoke. I think it depends on the state and the amount of damage, because I've been hit several times. I got hit in Indiana on Interstate 65. I was parked and somebody backed into me and drove off, and they chased him down. I got hit in Idaho that time, and I chased that guy down, but the cops came out because he didn't want to give me his insurance information. And so I've been backed into a few times, and I've been able to get them out there, but I'm sure it's a case-by-case basis. With your trailer, it may have not met the damage liability limits or something, I'm not sure, or it may have been a state or a county that normally doesn't do that. But even if they won't come out, that's why having a dash cam is so important, so you've got something to show your insurance company. And Trucker Chris says, yes, it's me. So it was the Chris I thought it was. Good friend of mine. I got to get over and see him one of these days. There's a bunch of y'all that you're on my list. I'm gonna come see you one of these days. P.U. Patel says, Trucker Todd, will you be going to Matt's this year? So I really, really, really wanted to go this year, but a lot of stuff happened that just made it to where it wasn't feasible to go. One of them was my aunt passing away. There's been some stuff with the truck I got fixed. I've bought 3 or 4 tires since I've had the truck. I replaced that oil pressure sending unit. Just some things like that. I had to get front brakes. And so made a decision that it's just better to be out working this year. Some of my friends that also have YouTube channels are going to be at Matt's this year. And I really wanted to be there, but just it's not in the realm of possibilities this year. So absolutely, though, next year I've got to be there. It's been a couple of years since I've been there, and it's time for me to get back to it for sure. And if you guys hear of any other truck stops, I mean, not truck stops, truck shows coming up that I realize none of them are going to be as big as Matt's, but something you'd like to see me at, that might be a possibility. Just email me at todd@truckertodd.net and let me know. Black Clover says, we're doing good currently in Salisbury, North Carolina, heading to Alabama. That sounds good. You'll avoid all this nasty weather I'm in. Do y'all ever run, do y'all still run out west any? It seems like you're in that part of the country a lot more now. Chris says, Kansas is horrible windy right now. Yeah, they're getting the same crud that Texas is getting, West Texas is getting right now. I'm ready for all that stuff to go away. I'm sick of the wind and the snow. I'm ready for sunny and 65 to 70. Soup Sandwich, are lives going to be returning to a weekly schedule, or is it undecided? Oh, it's already been decided. I want to do Tuesdays and Thursdays and then squeeze in 1 or 2 recorded videos a week. It's just finding the time to do it. It's a lot of people don't realize it takes, you have to set up at least an hour before the show for the notifications to go out. And then you do a show and it's an hour to 2 hours long. And so that's 3 hours usually. And it just sometimes then you've got to have really good internet. And I'm not talking about download speeds, you've got to have upload speeds too. And so it's just a combination of having the time and being in a good signal area and all. But yeah, it's definitely. I hope this is the beginning of it all starting again. I actually had planned on it to start back the first week in January, and I feel like I've let everybody down. A lot of people have been really understanding. They're like, "Hey, Todd, just do it when you can." Some people have been really upset with me. They're like, "Dang it, Todd, I want those lives." And I enjoy doing them. I enjoy hearing where y'all are at, what's going on. But it's just trying to drive the truck and do it is tough sometimes. And a lot of people don't realize when I was at Swift, I made insane money, and to the point to where it wasn't as big of a necessity to drive as what it is right now. And so, but yeah, I hate to make excuses and everything, but yeah, they are coming back for sure. When and where, I don't know, but just stay tuned. They're coming. That's why it's so important for you guys to subscribe and click that bell so you get notifications when they do come out. And while we're talking about that, we might as well also say, please, please, please give this video a thumbs up and share it on your social media platforms to your friends and all. Get them watching as well. It really helps get the channel out. Black Clover says we don't currently go west anymore. Well, I guess that's good. I guess that's good. Y'all seem a lot happier over there. So, channel member and moderator Robbie Ross says, "You want me to boost memberships tonight?" Uh, yeah, I would love that. I would love it if everybody boosted memberships. So, for those that don't know what he's talking about, not only can you become a member, but you can donate memberships to other people, anywhere from one to however many you want to. And then YouTube will look and see who commented the most, and it'll give them a free membership for a month. It's about $5 a person if that's something you're interested in doing, either for yourself or for others. You can also do like Robbie Ross did a minute ago. I'll pop it back up so y'all can see it. You can do a super chat. All of those things help the channel a lot, and I appreciate y'all. Obviously, it's not required, it's not mandatory, but it is definitely appreciated. And here he is with the gifted 5 Trucker Todd memberships. I got to get on my other phone and I'll be able to tell you who got them. So, Lance Calhoun, Michael I can't say your last name, Michael, Adam, and the Fly Rabbit, and ROG Ford all got channel memberships. He passed out 5 of them. Thank you for doing that, Robbie Ross, and congratulations to everyone that got a free 30-day channel membership. I'm trying to put some stuff over there too, and if I get snowed in here very long, I'll have time to do it. There's some trucking companies that a lot of you have asked me about, and I'll put videos of them out on the membership channel. There's a few there now. Most of the members have already seen those videos, but we'll try to get some content over there for them as well. So Racing Ray says, that's awesome, Robbie. Yeah, Robbie is, uh, as far as being a really good personal friend, a fellow Cowboys fan. We're both frustrated with the Cowboys right now, but he's also very, very, very supportive of the channel, and I appreciate him for sure. Soup Sandwich says, what are the perks of being a member? So, in the ideal circumstances, there's usually extra content that goes there that only channel members get to see. The last couple of months, there hasn't been anything there. So, lately, it's just been another way to support the channel, but there will be more content coming there as well. Um, you also get a shout out at the start of the videos, like I did at this one. Just some little things like that. You get a special badge that changes each month the longer you're a member, things like that. Let me see if I can find one to show you real quick. See if I can find somebody off the top. We've had a lot of comments tonight. Well, when somebody else comments, one of the other channel members comments, I'll show you. It puts a little icon out there. I'll make sure and show you one. There'll be another one pop up here in a second. Robbie Ross says, thank you, Ray. And Black Clover, yeah, we do a lot of Midwest and South area runs right now. Oklahoma, Minnesota, Texas, Carolinas, and such. That's not a bad part of the country to stay in. It's good work if you can get it. Ronald says, hey, Trucker Todd, sorry for your loss. Wishing you and your family peace at this time. Always pleasure to get to watch you and your videos. Well, thank you, Ronald. I appreciate that. I'm glad to have you here. I appreciate everybody watching, especially on tonight. You guys are carrying the show. Not a lot going on in my world. I've been off almost 2 weeks and just now coming back out, and then I get snowed in. So I appreciate y'all coming in with the interesting stories and things like that to tell, and sticking with me through all the good and bad. Soup Sandwich says, I've seen the badges from other channels. If I become a member, does YouTube take the majority of the price, or does it actually go to you? So I'm trying to remember the exact percentage. It's roughly about it's either a 70-30 split or an 80-20 split. They do take some of it because they've got some administrative cost, providing the servers and the platform and the marketing to get the videos out and things like that. So they do make a little bit off of it, but it does help. It's every little bit. It's you know, YouTube. A lot of people think, oh, you make a killing. YouTube, you make a few $100s, and then it's all the other stuff where you make the money. It's, you guys know, I've done sponsorships in the past. I've done promotions, and those kind of things is money. So it's one of those deals where it's 50 here, a couple of hundred there, that it adds up to some money, and every little bit helps. And I appreciate all of you. Some of you have even sent money like through the Cash Apps and Venmos and all of that, and all of that's in the description. I believe it's all on the website too. Just everybody wants to help in their own way. At Christmas time, a lot of people do stuff like that, and I appreciate every one of you. Whether you send $1, whether you send $50, whether you don't send anything at all, there's a lot of things you could be doing with your time, and I just appreciate you hanging out here with me. So, Racing Ray, let's play Cowboys and Indians in the Super Bowl next year. Go Chiefs. Well, I'm pretty sure the Chiefs will be there. I'm also fairly sure the Cowboys will not be there. They are not making good moves in the offseason. First of all, the head coach decision was a disaster. They're doing so many things wrong. Robbie Ross is a lot better at articulating it and explaining it better than I am, and maybe he'll comment here in a minute. But it's it's tough to be optimistic right now for sure. Chris says keep your truck clean and drive the speed limit. It's almost a guarantee you won't get pulled in for the blitz. It's definitely a big help, and the main thing is to not have anything obvious. They're looking for the low hanging fruit. If you're driving around on a flat tire, or your ABS lights on, or things like that, you're just begging for an inspection. If you've got 3 pounds of trash on your dash, you're just begging for an inspection. If you hadn't had a shower in a week, that they're going to be looking for things like that. But if your truck's clean, tires are aired up, there's not a loud audible air leak, things like that, they're going to let you go, and they're going to go for the low hanging fruit. But it's amazing how many people pull into these way stations with a headlight out or ABS light on, or something that's obvious and easy to catch. Robbie Ross, channel member, moderator. He's also, if you'll look there next to his name, this is for everybody. I know the one guy said that he had seen it. That second symbol is showing that he's a channel member. And the longer he maintains that, it changes colors. And so that's how you know how long someone's been a channel member. And Ronald said he works for Dart Express. He's home daily. So a lot of people don't know this. Dart has some day cabs they run called Dart Express, and I think all of those guys are home daily. So you have to live in certain areas, but if you can get on that, it's a pretty good gig if you can get it. Soup Sandwich, do you plan to have any guests on your lives in the future? So yes, I'm going to be very selective about who. The problem is you got to be careful, because if they come on and say something crazy, they can get your channel taken down. And so it's going to be people that I've vetted, that I know how they're going to behave. Definitely going to get Scott on. Right now, it's just trying to get consistent, trying to get a schedule down to where I can do these videos and and put out good content. And then, yeah, we'll introduce some guests and see what they've got to say. For those that know, I used to do a lot of guests on here. I used to have an accountant that came on once a month, and I used to bring on other YouTubers, and we would interview them. Like I said, I just got to be careful. But yeah, we're definitely going to have some of that as well. And DIY Semi is here. He says, howdy. Hello, sir. I think DIY just got here, so let me update him. I am up in Buffalo, Wyoming. I got snowed in. They closed Interstate 90 going west, so I'm at a Love's up here. Decided to get on here and do a quick video, trying to reintroduce, the Tuesday Trucker Talk. And in case you missed it on the Thursday shows, I was explaining to everybody scheduling is the biggest problem. Talking about the truck, I got new front brakes put on it recently. Got the oil changed. Had to get a few tires, things like that. Truck's running great. Just snowed in up here and just visiting with everybody. But glad you could join us tonight, DIY. He did a video recently. Some of y'all asked me, why don't I start a trucking company and let people lease onto me? He did a video explaining what all is entailed, leasing people on to you, getting your own authority, leasing people on. And it was definitely, I knew there was a lot of steps. I didn't realize quite how entailed it is. And I think for the foreseeable future, I'm happy doing what I'm doing for sure. Robbie Ross wants to know, did I see his membership banner he posted? Yeah, it did not pop up. Let me go grab it real quick. I missed it somehow. Sorry about that, Robbie Ross. I'm a little rusty at this. I'm out of practice, but I'll get my stride going again. Channel member Robbie Ross and moderator has been a member for 17 months. Membership has its privileges. I'm not talking about Cowboys. Jerry and free agency sucks. Yeah, so he's a little sour about the Cowboys like I am. Soup sandwich. I remember the accountant. The accountant. What was the reason that relationship ended? If you can talk about it. Yeah. So basically, I can't say a ton about it because he put a cease and desist on me. Um, I felt like some things that I felt like some things were done that were wrong. I felt like I got lied to and taken advantage of in some ways, and probably shouldn't talk a lot more about it beyond that. You're welcome to reach out to him and get his take on it. Those videos are still up. I haven't pulled none of those videos. You can go back and get his information and contact him. But just things are sour. When I had my stroke, he did contact me and wish me the best. But at this point, I don't foresee a situation where he and I could work together again. At this time, who knows when the future, if he were to reach out and apologize and make things right, we might be able to work something out in the future. But I wouldn't hold my breath for him returning to the channel. But he did say some nice stuff to me when he found out I had my stroke. P.U. Patel, did you go back to ATBS? I have not gone back to ATBS. I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibilities. I'm talking to them as well as several other people simultaneously. And at some point, I'll be able to share that information. I just don't have anything to share yet. One guy was even trying to tell me to just do it myself through QuickBooks. I'm definitely not confident enough to do that. I definitely want somebody else involved. I've got a lot of big issues with ATBS as well. The thing I do like about them is the convenience, though. They've got that app where you can just take a picture of the receipts and upload it to them. And that is extremely convenient and time saving. And the one thing I don't have any of is time. And so anything I can do to save me some time or streamline things is definitely something I'm interested in. All right, we're caught up on the comments. Y'all have been busy tonight. I've enjoyed talking to y'all. We're coming up on the 1 hour mark. We've only got about 15 people in here, which is a little low for us, about half of what we usually run. But I figure a lot of people will catch in the replay, and that's fine. I appreciate everybody coming in tonight. I'm going to hang around for a few minutes in case y'all have got anything else you want to talk about. And if not, I'm going to call it a night and get off of here. Give it just a few seconds. Robbie Ross, channel member and moderator, ATBS has completed my taxes 3 weeks ago. Yeah, and that's something that's encouraging. Robbie Ross has had really good success with ATBS, and I used them for a lot of years. You know, I'm kind of wondering if maybe it wasn't the company and maybe it was just the agent I had. He has suggested that I use the agent he has at ATBS, and so that might be a possibility. Like I said, I'm talking to several people right now and trying to formulate the best plan. Soup sandwich. If you weren't truck driving again, what would you do? So, that is a really great question. Um, what I really, really enjoy doing is sales, but it's not this, but I enjoy sales like it used to be. In the new climate, I don't know that I would enjoy that. I did enjoy working at AT&T, but some of the people I've been in contact there with are not happy. They've made some changes after I left. I really don't know. I haven't looked at other things lately, so that's a tough question, and it's really dangerous for me because I'm the guy that's always saying everybody needs a backup plan. Uh, if you couldn't drive no more, what would you do? And right now, I don't have that backup plan. Possibly uh, go into safety or recruiting for a trucking company, something like that. I haven't uh, I haven't weighed those things, but I do need to develop those relationships so that if I ever have to cross that bridge, I've already got some options to consider. Gary Pinkston says, "How long have you been trucking?" My first day behind the wheel after truck driving school was December 3rd, 1996. So that's what, 28, 29 years, something like that. And channel member and moderator Robbie Ross. He has retired now. The new guy they assigned me, I don't like. I have a contact who is high up, and we talk about every few days. Maybe they can get you reassigned with somebody you like better. Gary Pinkston, and where do you recommend buying a truck? It really depends on your situation and how much down payment you got and your credit and things like that. So, for the most part, I don't recommend anybody buy a new truck or vehicle because you just take a beating in depreciation. Um, and usually, straight out of the factory, they got some bugs. If you could find a truck that had between 60 and 100,000 miles on it, that would be the ideal situation. Um, with bad credit or challenged credit, there's different programs. It really just depends on your situation. Uh, and so that's kind of a tough question to answer. When people get to that point, they generally email me and we talk about it, and I usually give advice. And sometimes they listen to me, sometimes they don't. Um, it depends what truck brand you want, things like that. Um, Generally speaking, I don't recommend SFI because the truck payments are so high. But I mean, for some people, that's the best option for them, especially if you're going to go to work at Schneider. But yeah, if you're at the point where you've got some money saved up and you're thinking about buying a truck, email me and I'll help you. My situation was unique. I bought my truck from an individual and he financed it himself. And that's not an option for a lot of people. But yeah, in this day and age, there's almost no reason to do a lease purchase because there's so many options where you can just get your own truck. And the reason to do that, there's pros and cons to each. If you get your own truck and things go south at whatever company you lease onto, you can take your truck and go somewhere else. Generally speaking, in a lease purchase, the truck's tied to that company and you're stuck there till it's paid off. So you've just got a lot more freedom and a lot more options if you go to a dealership and get a truck. And for a long time, credit was the biggest hindrance to that. But now just about anybody can get a truck if you've got a little money saved up. Yeah, my email is in the ticker here at the bottom. It's Todd at truckertodd.net. Again, that email is Todd, TODD, at truckertodd.net. Email me and I'll get back to you as quick as I can, and we'll try to help you find a truck. When you email me, let me know what your credit looks like. I don't need specifics. Just is it generally good, generally bad? What kind of down payment are you working with? What kind of trucks do you like? What ones are a deal breaker? And we'll try to figure something out for you. No problem. I enjoy helping, and you know it. There's a lot of options, though. You're not going to have any trouble. And another thing to be thinking about is when you get your truck, what do you want to do? Do you want to run the spot market? Do you want to work for a company where you're dispatched? Things like that. So Racing Ray says, I have been wondering if I have any NASCAR fans out here. I know Todd is a huge fan. Who is your favorite driver? So kind of a running joke in the family between me and his oldest son. We both joke about being fanatical race car fans. I wouldn't call myself a huge NASCAR fan. I like the NASCAR video games, but I don't watch a lot of NASCAR. Sometimes I'll watch a little bit if I'm over at Racing Ray's house, but we tease him about it every chance we get. Matthew Miller says, hello, Todd. Hey, Matthew. Thank you for being here tonight. So here you go, Ray. Adam says, who's also a channel member and a moderator, says, actually, he stopped watching after Kevin Harvick retired. So see, that shows you how much I know. I didn't even know Kevin Harvick retired. And here's you another one, Racing Ray. Robbie Ross, channel member and moderator, says he loves NASCAR. Uh, no favorite driver, though. He just enjoys the sport. I like watching the accidents as long as nobody gets hurt. Like, I don't enjoy it if somebody gets hurt, but it's fun to watch if nobody gets hurt. All right, this is going a little longer than I thought it was going to, so I'm gonna cook some. I'm gonna cook some onion nuggets in my air fryer. Give me just a second. I can. That'll give y'all a chance to charge some or to type some comments while I'm doing that, and I'll get caught up quickly. Almost got it started. Almost done. All righty, I'm back. All right, let's get caught up on the deal. And Adam again, channel member and moderator, actually prefer the ARCA series and the trucks over the Cup series. Yeah, I like watching the trucks too. But I like them all as long as Gary says, I know that I am new to your channel, but I appreciate you with all your teaching. I appreciate it. I don't know if I'm teaching. I maybe sometimes, a lot of times, I'm just giving my opinion. We all got one, and sometimes I can help. Basically, after this many years, I've made so many mistakes that uh, I know what to do by knowing what not to do. And so, anytime I can, share some information that helps somebody, or at least gives you something to think about, I'm glad to do it. It's the least I can do. Channel member and moderator Robbie Ross. Got a shovel for in the morning? Yeah, I do. I got all kinds of stuff on this truck. But I think I'll be able to get out of here once it clears up. Racing Ray. Sky came over Sunday and stayed for the whole race. We had a great time, but not sure he wanted it much. Yeah, I remember I was there and I left a little while after he got there. Channel member and moderator Robbie Ross. Cool to see Josh Berry win, Ray. Robbie Ross, or no, this is Racing Ray. Yes, sir, Robbie, and it was good to see the Wood brothers back in Victory Lane. Yeah, they're both way above my head now. I don't know who that all is. All righty, what else y'all want to talk about tonight? Anything else fresh on your minds? Don't forget, we got a video coming out in the morning. I had a good friend of mine, he's not in here tonight, that's really worried about these tariffs that are in the news. I gave him my take on that. I'm going to share it with all of y'all tomorrow. And it's going to also involve trucking and how trucking's kind of going down. And so I hope you'll be around for that tomorrow. It should be coming out about 9 o'clock in the morning Central Time. With me being in a different time zone, who knows what YouTube will do. But I guess I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here. I sure appreciate everybody joining me tonight. Y'all have a great night, and we'll catch you on the next one. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.